Okay, we're going to be looking at a screen walkthrough for Adobe Premiere. If you go to your Start button and click in your Windows Start and slide your way down to Adobe Premiere, you open up the program. Chances are you're going to be starting a new project. Okay, so it's going to give you this window here, and we'll open up a new project. And you're going to be given an opportunity to identify the project. So let's get organized right away. Okay, so this would be Premiere lesson video. Okay, so you would obviously identify it by the name that makes sense to you, and it's going to save it to default on your desktop. So maybe you want to pick a location for that to happen. I'm going to put it in a folder where I'm saving all of these files. So I'm going to go to my G drive and I'm going to save it into this Premiere teaching videos. Okay, and I'm going to save it in there. The rest of these things here, I think you can just leave those for now. They'll be fine. Okay. When you first open, it will probably open up and look like this. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things up here are called workspaces. So these workspaces are how you organize your screen, and depending on which workspace you select, it will give you certain windows. Okay, so the default one is this editing, and it will give you basically 4 windows. So this is for your playback up here, and you have your buttons for play, stop, fast forward, rewind, etc. Down here is where you're going to create your sequence. So there's your timeline. On the left bottom here are your browsers and the files for your projects. Okay, and this top left is a source window, and that's for working on videos that come out of your browser or for effects or audio. What we did is set this up to look more like Vegas, and if you go up to the top and choose assembly, your screen will probably look something like this when that happens. Okay, and what we've done is kind of push over this divider and set it up looking like that, and then we pushed over this divider between the timeline and the timeline controls. And if you do this carefully, you'll get, so all my tools for my timeline will be in a straight line here, and this way this will kind of look like a Vegas project. Okay, now up here there's 2 things here. So in the project folder, there's not going to be anything. If I click on media browser, this is going to give me a chance to go and find files. Okay, so I've put some files already in my G drive. Remember that we need to use that ComTech login to access the G drive. So if I go here to G and I'll go to Mr. T's video, and here's some videos that I collected. So that gives you a thumbnail here. Here's a really cool feature. If you just hover your mouse left and right, it will actually play your video from start to finish, and that will give you a pretty good idea of what the video does. Okay, so I'm going to take a video. I'm just going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag it down. Okay, it's going to import the files, and then you're going to see something like this. Okay, so here's my preview screen, here's the video and the audio that accompanies it. It defaults with 3 video tracks and 3 audio tracks. Of course, we can add more, and there's a lot of tools in here, but we'd have to change the view. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, timeline up here, so when we press play on our video, you'll notice the playhead moves across. Okay, the playhead here, these are actually working together. If I were to drag this and move it back and forth, okay, I'm seeing the progress up here, but of course here's the whole file right here. Okay, view-wise, I'm not a big fan of this blue line. And so if you actually do this, if you bring your mouse over and we expand this track up like this, it's going to push it up. Okay, I think that's going to help you guys a lot. The one thing, yours is going to probably default with just 1 picture. So I've already set this up. If you go here and you, not double click, we're going to, let's bring that guy back in again. Okay, So we stretch that out. Okay, if you right click here, and we want this thing here, continuous video thumbnails. Yours probably is going to come up like this, video head thumbnails. Okay, so it's only going to give you the first screen, like first screenshot. Okay, if you click on continuous video thumbnails, then you'll see more pictures of the progress of your video. If you zoom in and out, the basic way here is using the zoom tool, and you can click and it will zoom in. The more you zoom in, the more pictures you'll see. Okay. I do find that if you use the toggle down here, that's a good way to zoom in and out. You can grab the ends of the toggle and it will zoom out or zoom in. And obviously the more you zoom in, the more you will see. Okay. And it will zoom in and out based on the middle of the screen. Okay. If we go back here, so these are our basic tools. This is the one you're going to use the most, as a selection tool. Okay, and it will allow you to click on the timeline and jump around the project. You notice here, if I click here, it doesn't really do much. Okay, if I double click, it will bring it up into another window. We don't want to do that. You can also expand your audio if you come down to the audio track, and we can see the frequencies here for the audio, and as it plays along, you would be able to hear the background of this waterfall. Okay, so that's a basic screen walkthrough. Up at the top we have all of our basic pull downs, so file to save, close, export, etc. Edit if we want to undo, copy, paste, clip, sequence, marker, title, window. Okay, so depending on what we're doing, we may not need these three so much. Window, of course, would allow us to open up windows and make those visible. Okay, some of the things we'll need to do later, including audio titles. When you click on those workspaces, they're going to open up an extra window, and that window will have elements related to that. So audio, obviously, will deal with our audio tracks. If we click on the effects workspace, then we're going to get a little effect controls window that will help us do effects. Okay, so that's a basic screen walkthrough, and we'll give you more in the next lesson.